It's a mystical, magical, it's as occult as any other New Age, Gnostic, secret society. It's as occult as all of that. And they have a lot of the same beliefs: divination, reincarnation,
Mm.
magical amulets, spells. They teach that you can use, and they have all these different names for God.
So Mystery Babylon.
Yes, yes.
I mean, effectively, I mean, that's all what you just described pretty much.
Yeah, and I assume that they took some of those beliefs maybe
They
from
probably
that
did.
time period. A lot of that stuff was handed down. Let me say this real quick before we go right back to that. Is a lot of people, I always thought when the Jews gave in and went and started worshiping these pagan gods, it was like a short period of time. They just kind of, veered off to the right a little bit or left or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it and got confused. No, I mean, there's several instances where they worship these pagan gods for several hundred years.
Yeah.
So this wasn't just like a short period of time. It had to at least, I think it had to have carried on to some point into modern day, in their culture. I mean, King Solomon's probably their highest, their most lauded king of all time. And he made altars to these pagan gods. He put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah, this was one of the failings at the end of his life.
Yeah.
Was this. And just for clarity, I want to say that the kingdoms, because you have a northern kingdom of Israel for anybody that's not familiar, and a southern kingdom, right? You have Judah, and then you have the northern tribes, right, of actual Israel. They would consider themselves Israel, and then you have Judah and Benjamin that were Jerusalem area.
Yeah.
I think the kingdom or Solomon died in like 922 BC or somewhere in that time frame, 900 and something BC. And, we have the northern kingdom that we can read in scripture that's being warned, as with the southern kingdom, over and over and over and over and over again. You better turn from your wicked ways or I'm going to wipe you out.
Yeah.
And all of the prophets, you can read all of the prophets, pre-exilic prophets before we had the exile, and post-exilic, warning the same stuff, because we're falling into the same traps. But, we have the northern kingdom that's the first to go. They get taken out by the Assyrians in like 722 BC. So just to highlight your point, this has now gone on for at least 200 years at this particular point. And then we have the southern kingdom that they don't fall in line either. And so God winds up having the Babylonians come in and take them out, like I think 40 or 70 or some odd years later. So this has gone on for 200-300 years at least at this particular point, probably much longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they had this was really a problem all throughout the Bible, in different periods. And even in the Talmud, they dedicate quite a lot of time to making it known that you should not worship other gods. They're really trying to, because they knew it was a problem, and the Talmud comes up to not modern times, but quasi modern times, and it was still being a problem. So, yeah, and if you think about that, and then you go into what we're talking about, Kabbalah, like even before Kabbalah, there was something called Merkaba mysticism, and it's based on the chariots in Ezekiel. And it almost reads like some kind of psychedelic, rabbinical, bizarre beliefs. It's hard to understand. In Kabbalah is difficult as well, but then you get into Kabbalah, into the medieval times, and it's basically endless things in the Kabbalah that they believe. They can twist anything. They say people go crazy trying to learn the Kabbalah, and I think it's because it can mean just about anything you want it to. And a lot of people, are just, there's no, like Christianity, we do have a set of values, a set of laws. We have the 10 Commandments, which is the Jews were supposed to adhere to as well, and all these different things. But in this belief system, it's kind of like anything goes. And it's got all these occult aspects to it. And, they'll take I was talking about, they'll take like parts of the names of God and combine them and make magical spells. They'll do the same with angels. They'll even make backwards spellings. And of course, they'll say it's to ward off evil and stuff like that. But
yeah,
as I got to research again, there is a lot of what they call angelology, which is basically magic using angel names and different things like that. They talk about how they can basically control angels and have them do their bidding,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. It's all the same stuff that's in this, like the Crowley, he had a demon that he consorted with, and Alice Bailey and all these people, Helena Blavatsky, these occult people, they were talking to these entities, or they thought they were, or whatever. And, a lot of that stuff the rabbis were doing, and I suppose they're doing it to this day to a point, because that's in their teachings that they care so much about.